Hey, let's talk about Cubafruit, a 2025 indie thriller written by Alexander Sorondo. This book really kicks into it with a biographer, 66-year-old biographer, sitting down in a Miami courtyard, getting a call on his phone, and it's on the other end of the line is a sniper who is looking at him through their scope, and we're going to have some reckoning over this novel, mostly concerned with a fictional South American country, San Mara, where we, through kind of intercutting between various different time periods, a fairly large cast, we hear about the overthrow of one kind of a despot for another very much despotic fellow who, on a wave of genocidal sentiment, comes to power and enacts said genocide. Is in power for, I feel like, about 3 years, and then disappears, is gone, and no one knows where they've gone. No one knows where they've gone. This novel sort of takes you back and forth through the different time periods, through a figure. It's very much. It opens with the U.S. Vice President, very much kind of a Dick Cheney kind of figure, I would say, Obregon Themis, who has been messing around in there. The titular Cubafruit seems to be this kind of nectar hallucinogenic of the god, which is a resource which the U.S. is in the vice president in particular, through the behest of a big American corporation, is interested in tapping into. Tobacco is getting harder and harder to flog, so Cubafruit is going to be the next thing, and as the United States has done, is fucking around in South America. This is very much kind of a caffeinated, I'm going to have to say it, propulsive thriller. I have come to Sorondo's work through his podcast, the 1,000 Movie Podcast, where he has a certain kind of style, probably amplified by the fact that I listen to all my podcasts at least 1.4 speed. But, he's got a very kind of discursive, elliptical style on that show. That is much more kind of autobiographical in a lot of times, though sometimes he'll divert off into his fascination with biographies, which is very much a subject that comes up here. And this book is sort of that kind of idea, but fictionalized, of getting into kind of the violent, brutal kind of world of this South American country. Brutalized by obviously a lot of the geopolitical forces, the liberal capitalist forces around it, and just given its worst inclinations. Yeah, it's like this. The book opens with Obregon Themis. Oh God, I'm probably saying that wrong. Descends at a curve, glinting angelic, and touches down smooth to a black tar runway, sun-baked and soft, for a weekend genocide in San Mara. Which is lovely, kind of an image of, it's almost like the vice president himself is some kind of a behemoth that is swooping down like Satan into this not really Edenic, but kind of tropical paradise kind of idea. This book is really good at kind of tracing the start of the genocidal dictator who is going to take over so disastrously for a while, Omar Basto. I love how the book kind of gets into kind of him as a young kid, and just kind of that formation, and realizing that, his inarticulate resentment can actually get harnessed into this kind of articulate manipulation of others, to be able to kind of express his own kind of anger, and hook up that anger in other people and use that to manipulate them. So yeah, this was just such a fun book in that way. I mean, it's definitely a dark material, but how it's intercut back and forth from kind of relative present of this biographer who is very much his culpability in the formation of Omar Basto is explored. How much he's kind of soft pedaled the genocide that's happened, probably for his own benefit. Definitely that sniper who is a survivor of that genocide very much is coming to call him to account for this, and also just to kind of like find out the mystery. Omar Basto is said to have disappeared. He's dead. They found the remains, except in this week, suddenly they have YouTube video of him resurfacing somewhere else, him shopping in at a market somewhere I can't remember, in the world. So it's also just like, okay, is he dead? Is a figure like this ever truly gone? Like all the damage and destruction that is left behind them, and also just how that vice president's still kicking, still very much successful, still unscathed by all this in that kind of maddening way that the rich and powerful do. This was just one of these books where I just read it really quickly, really enjoyed it. It's got stuff on its mind, but it is also just so much it's so much fun. I mean, I guess this is not an insult. This is saying like, it's like a smart airport novel. That idea of you're gonna, it's smart and politically informed and interrogates the power of writing, but also, just delivers thrills to the reader. So I heartily recommend it. Check it out. It is not expensive on Amazon. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.